Okay, this is going to be the 12th installment. I'm going to call this Costuming and LARPing. There are two types of LARPs that you tend to run into. The first is, of course, immersion LARPing. Immersion LARPing tends to be when you go out for a day or for multiple days and you are totally within your character. Costuming is essential for these. Dystopia Rising, the SCA, Nero, Amped Guard, smaller games like Twin Mask, you're going to run into costuming as being a critical element. You're going to want to have your gear, you're going to want to have your boffer weapons, you're going to want to have your armor, you're going to want to have your heraldry, and so on, because part of the visuals make the character in that. Then you have the other kind of LARP, which is stuff like vampire and werewolf and such, where you tend to only meet once a week, bi-weekly, or monthly. A lot of times your location is not quite as private, and sometimes you can't get away with certain props. Therefore, you tend to see a lot more people just dressing for comfort and dressing for invisibility, I guess you'd say, because they don't want to be noticed by, the regular mundanes. Sometimes that's a cop-out. Even a little bit of costuming go a long way in those type of LARPs. And I don't think most people realize that until they see it. Comfort is key, because if you're not comfortable, you're not gonna roleplay very well. However, something like a necklace that represents a fetish you're wearing, a ring that represents your signet ring in a vampire game, anything, a small little bit of heraldry, a pocket watch, anything that identifies your character and something that everybody looks at and goes, ah, that's that character, that's who he's playing. That's epic in a way, because people are going to always identify you. If you have a pocket watch you always pull out, you pull that out, they're going to be like, oh, there he is, he's playing that character. They're never going to question, are you the same character? Because your costume is pretty much your comfort costume. It's not something that is key. And you can't fault people for not wearing costumes sometimes. When you're in a public place, obviously you're not going to dress like the vampire. People might freak out about the fangs. Now, some people are comfortable letting people freak out, but others aren't. And you don't want to push people too far out of their comfort zone, because then they stop role-playing and they get really nervous and they tend to shut down. Also, obviously, when you get to modern-day games, you can't simulate the weapons very well, especially in a public area. Even in immersion LARP, if you have firearms, they can't really look too much like firearms, because you don't want that trigger-happy cop coming upon you and trying to arrest you, or you turn because you're not even thinking that you have a weapon, but they do. You'll get your ass shot. And Lord knows we're living in areas that happens quite frequently if you're not careful. So, think about it. Think about when you're playing a character, if there's even one signature little item that you can carry. If you have an item card, or something listed on your sheet, is there something you can carry to simulate that, which is going to put a definition on your character and give people that sense of identity that you need, so that they know it's you? It could be something as simple as wearing a specific hat or a specific garment. We used to have a guy who played in Nosferatu, and he always wore this ratty old cloak. Everybody knew who he was playing then, and he did look the part. We had another guy who played a Geta Fenris. He was a Theurge, and he actually carried around a staff that he was trying to carve. Everybody knew which character he was playing. That's key, because then you run into other people. Oh, that tall guy that just wears a black trench coat and black clothes all the time. Who is he? Oh, he's not playing that character anymore? Oh, I don't know. I don't want to deal with him then. That's what you get. It's not something you need to do. I mean, storytelling stats probably have it the worst, because we have to change costumes multiple times, play antagonists, protagonists, and neutrals. A lot of times that's going to be something as simple as changing my mannerisms, my voice. I might have a costume I'm wearing. I might have a hat I turn around, a jacket I throw on, something. A lot of it depends on the weather. A lot of it depends on who's in the scene. I'm quite proud of the fact that a lot of times all I got to do is change the way I carry myself, my vocal patterns, my voice, and so on, and people instantly know what character I'm playing. Now, granted, I don't sit there and try to swamp them with characters. I've made that mistake in years gone past. So now I have probably a stable of 3 or 4 characters you might see on occasion, and every one of them is different. Everybody identifies it. So that about covers what I wanted to get with this. It's just showing you that costuming can make your character that much richer, and you should always think about it. It is a LARP, and how you fit into the niche of the other players is a critical thing. And the more definition you give to your character and the persona, the more real it becomes to everybody. And that's what it's all about. You're trying to make yourself real. You're trying to create a huge story, and you're trying to be the star. So, just something for you to think about. Anybody has any comments, feel free to hit me with them. Have a nice day, guys.